Universe conducts in human being in its Uni-Version, single version. Human being has a designed channel for the conduction. The designed channel starts with a source. It is consciousness of Yada. Yada is existence, activation, revelation, dwelling, discrimination, awareness, and accomplishment for existence. It is Sat-Cit-Ananda as it is projected by Veda. The source executes itself till the end as external affair object. The conducting is as impulses of the non-physical electromagnetism. Consciousness of Yada is the non-physical electromagnetism. The conducting starts in the stage intelligence correction. Intelligence is internally telling gesture for the human being. This internally telling is telling the source as the base and executing externally. Both are balanced as intelligence for him. He has to correct it always to the designed source. Once it is corrected, that is sustained by him as intelligence. That sustained intelligence is the self, Aham. This self now conducts externally for such a process. It is retained as Buddhi, Buddha Avagamane, protected source of execution. There we see one is source protected, another is execution. Protecting source is important for execution, without which execution is always disturbed. This execution has in the next stage Manas, mind as base. Manas is non-physical sense. It is sense and that is non-physical. Sense is of the source. Sense is of the source. Senses the source and transmits it for execution. It should not be the other way. External is not transmitted to the source. Source is transmitted to the external. This is sense. So now, from the source to Manas is the channel categorized as non-physical. This is totally non-physical. Now this is taken to execution through the physical brain. Now again, brain conducts externally as a physical element, but its sense is non-physical from the source. Without the sense and without the base, brain does not conduct. Brain is always based from non-physical source, consciousness of Yada. This is the designed channel. Just because it is physical, it is not cut off from the non-physical. So it is said as non-physical based physical. Brain passes on the non-physical signals, impulses to the external physical region in a wave form. It is impulses and wave form also. These words are not simple physical science. It is a wave form because it passes on, and this is impulse because it is a process of conduction. The signals as they pass on to their various senses. The senses act in the external affairs to execute as a job, physically seen job. Now this is a designed channel. Now we see an elliptical rounding here at the intelligence correction. The being distorts the intelligence correction as he is absorbing the consciousness of Yada. Consciousness of Yada, Sat-Cit-Ananda, is taken by him as the triple attribute Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. The difference is misconduct of Sat-Cit-Ananda, consciousness of Yada, in his own freedom, liberty, and trying to give it the base of physical, external basing, while Sat-Cit-Ananda is an internal potential. He takes it as external based. This is the distortion causing disturbance for him. But the disturbance the design channel does not admit. So it goes as a different channel. Here we see the channel of field disturbed by triple attribute. This is encircled. Here we see in the 2D form as left and right, but it is a encircle with him. He creates his own intelligence correction in his channel, disturbed channel. Intelligence and self are of his disturbed channel. Self is of triple attribute and buddhi is of the protected source of execution. His source is triple attribute. He protects it for his execution. He conducts all this in the non-physical sense because consciousness of Yada is non-physical. His triple attribute is also non-physical. Mind here is non-physical sense in the attitude of triple attribute. His disturbed attitude is not accepted by the source of the designed channel. Anyway, he conducts. He tries to make use of the physical region for his action. For all his activity, he creates another element which is not given in the designed channel. That is Chitta, activity. It is his own activity. His activity is influencing the intelligence correction, intelligence, self, buddhi, manas, also trying to perforce use brain and senses all. Once Chitta starts activity in the disturbed channel, the entire disturbance starts with the human being. However, the designed channel is not designed to accept him, so it does not accept, but perforce he tries to execute his disturbance or disturbed activity through brain and senses. Brain and senses also, since being designed for their designed channel of Sat-Cit-Ananda, consciousness of Yada, they also do not accept, but by his pressure they execute into the physical plane his disturbed channel. It executes all right, but it is under pressure, so yields for him pain. Thus, the human beings always operate against their designed channel, pressurizing the physical body and torturing the non-physical plane. This we see here as the blinking reddish fog. We see here activity of Chitta as fragmented consciousness of even the consciousness of the triple attribute, which is a reflection of its fragmented assumption of the designed source. It shakes the non-physical field of the disturbed channel. The shaking is horizontal, collapsing and expanding around the designed channel. The shaking is also trying to trespass from non-physical region to the physical region up to the brain, trying to convey its signals of triple attribute to the brain, pressurizing the brain to execute. The shaking is also in the physical field. Here too, the shaking is horizontal, collapsing and expanding around the design channel. When Chitta tries to receive and reflect the external object or affairs, the shaking extends to manas, the mind, to extend and convey the physical terms to non-physical sense. Thus, the disturbance in both non-physical and physical planes is in the two longs of transmitting the disturbing of chitta for execution in the external and receiving of external to replace the elements of the design channel by the triple attribute, aiming at enriching the distortion of intelligence correction. The design channel retards incessantly and unceasingly, expressing the state of a never acceptance of the triple attribute of the human being. This is a continuous process until the man exercises control on the disturbance and reverts to his real consciousness. This continuous disturbance and retardation is a royal battle where the triple attribute is conceptually weak. It cannot shake the steady designed channel. The pained being has to yield to his designed channel. The field of disturbance gradually reaches to a climax of pain. The retardation captures the being of his triple attribute and chitta. The fog of disturbance grows to dark black. The elliptical rounding gradually gains the light of the real consciousness by renunciation in the disturbance. His light dispels the darkness black. Now, his designed field and channel are free from the disturbance.